Deep in the heart of ancient Greece, atop the slopes of Mount Parnassus, stood a place of mystery and power, the Temple of Apollo at Delphi. This was no ordinary temple. It was the home of the Oracle of Delphi, a woman whose words could shape the fate of kings, warriors, and entire nations. For centuries, people traveled from far and wide to seek her wisdom, believing her voice was the voice of the gods themselves. The story of the oracle begins long before the grand stone temple was built. In the beginning, the site was sacred to Gaia, the Earth Mother. According to legend, a great serpent named Python guarded the place, coiled around a crack in the earth from which strange fumes rose. These fumes were said to carry visions of the future. But the god Apollo, seeking to claim the site as his own, came down from Mount Olympus and slew Python with his golden arrows. From that day forward, Delphi belonged to Apollo, the god of prophecy, light, and truth. To honor Apollo, the people built a temple where the serpent once lay. The temple was made of stone, grand and imposing, with tall columns that reached toward the sky. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of burning laurel leaves and the murmurs of priests. At the heart of the temple was the inner chamber, where the oracle sat upon a three-legged stool known as the tripod. Beneath her, the earth still breathed out those strange fumes, filling the chamber with a dreamlike haze. The oracle herself was no ordinary woman. Chosen from among the priestesses of Delphi, she was known as the Pythia, a name that remembered the serpent Python. Before she could speak as the oracle, she had to purify herself in the sacred Castalian spring, where the waters were said to wash away all impurities. Then, dressed in white robes, she would enter the temple, chewing sacred laurel leaves and breathing in the fumes that rose from the earth. Slowly, she would fall into a trance, her mind opening to the whispers of Apollo. Those who came to seek her wisdom had to follow strict rules. First, they had to make an offering, gold, silver, or even an animal sacrifice. Then, they had to approach with humility, for the gods did not favor the proud. Only then would their question be passed to the priests, who would present it to the oracle. Her answers were never simple. They came in riddles, in words that twisted like smoke, leaving the seekers to unravel their meaning. One famous story tells of King Croesus of Lydia, a man so rich that his name became a legend. He wanted to know if he should wage war against the mighty Persian Empire. The oracle told him, "If you cross the river Halys, a great empire will fall." Croesus took this as a sign of victory and marched his armies forward. But it was his own empire that crumbled. The oracle's words had been true, yet their meaning had been hidden. Not all who came to Delphi were kings. Farmers asked about their crops, mothers about their children, and sailors about their voyages. The oracle spoke to all, her voice weaving the threads of countless lives into the tapestry of fate. But her power came at a cost. The trances left her exhausted, and the fumes that opened her mind to the gods could also bring madness. Some say that in later years, when the fumes grew weaker, the prophecies became unclear, and the temple's glory began to fade. As centuries passed, Delphi remained a beacon of mystery, even as empires rose and fell around it. The Romans came, and though they respected the oracle, they did not hold her in the same awe as the Greeks. Then, with the rise of Christianity, the old gods were forgotten, and the temple fell into ruin. The stones that once echoed with divine whispers were left silent, covered by time and earth. Yet even in ruins, the legend of the oracle endures. Archaeologists have uncovered the temple's foundations, the sacred spring, and the path where ancient pilgrims once walked. They have found inscriptions, thousands of them, carved into stone, recording the questions asked and the answers given. Though the oracle's voice is long gone, her words remain, etched into history. What was the truth behind the oracle's power? Some say the fumes were natural gases that altered her mind, making her see visions. Others believe she truly spoke for the gods. Perhaps the answer lies somewhere in between. What matters is that for centuries, people believed in her. They crossed mountains and seas, risking everything, just to hear a few words from a woman in a stone temple. And so the Oracle of Delphi remains one of history's greatest mysteries. A bridge between the mortal world and the divine, where the future was not just seen, but spoken into being. Her temple may be broken, her voice long silent, but her legend lives on, carved not just in stone, but in the stories we still tell today.